Hello, everybody, and good afternoon. I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to the Dice Tower live Q&A, something I do every Monday, or almost every Monday at noon. And we're glad you're here with us today. We're here to talk about board games, and we're going to specifically today, if you have any specific questions in regards to Dice Tower East. So, quick recap. We mentioned this morning in Board Game Breakfast. Dice Tower East for 2021 has been canceled. We will pick up in Dice Tower for 2022. So it'll be the week directly after July 4th in 2022. Everyone who has a ticket for 2021 is automatically transferred to 2022. So we talked about that. I also mentioned this morning that while we're running a retreat this September, it's almost full. We still plan to do that. I am considering possibly doing a second retreat in November that could end up being either in Miami or Orlando. But if you would be interested in doing that, I need you to email me at tom@dicetower.com and just let me know that you're interested. I've already gotten several emails from people. I've not responded to them yet. But if you're interested in that, let me know, and we'll just put you on a list and keep track of that. Of course, we also have Dice Tower Retreat Facebook group, where you can find out more information. You can join that to learn more about this. Now, a lot of Dice Tower East stuff is going to be handled on our Dice Tower East Facebook group. Oh, actually, next year, the retreat is the Dice Tower is the week of July 4th, July 6th to 10th. I apologize. What I meant is it's directly after July 4th. Sometimes it's the week before July 4th, depending on where it lands, but it's July 6th through 10th. I believe July 4th is on a Monday next year. But anyhow, a lot of the stuff for Dice Tower East will be answered on Dice Tower Facebook. But if you have any specific questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability. But I may refer you to Sharon Madden, who is the director of Dice Tower East, and she'll answer specific questions. You can email her at sharon@dicetower.com. That's SHARON at dicetower.com. All right, so I'm answering whatever questions come up here. And yes, I know everyone is sad about this. I perfectly wanted to do it, okay? I really wanted to do it, but I had to make the call, and if you're upset with anyone, make sure you blame me, because I'm the person who had to make the final decision. The only thing I'm really happy about is I'm happy that we were able to announce it early. Because most time when you cancel something, you can't cancel it till like 1 or 2 months ahead of time. So I thought earlier would be better for everybody involved. Will you share 2 or 3 of your favorite books with us? I'm on the hunt for a good read. Well, my number one answer to that is anything from Brandon Sanderson, the author. He is amazing. And if you've never read any of his stuff, Mistborn, his Mistborn trilogy is a good place to start. I'm currently reading Red Rising trilogy. I shouldn't say currently, I just finished reading it, and that's really good. But again, you got to realize that one's very dark, though. It's like more Game of Thrones style, but it has some good twists and turns in it. There's a lot of other good books, but that should be enough to get you started, hopefully. I changed hats from Board Game Breakfast this morning. Yes, I actually have like 50 hats here at the studio, and I just pop them on and off. When will the Dice Tower Cruise website be updated with 2022 info? As soon as I just signed the contract like Friday. So until it was signed, we didn't want to put the info up. So it will be up soonish, I'm sure. Phantom, the card game. I don't know anything about that, actually. I haven't seen it yet. Have you read any new comics recently? I have not, actually. I've been reading actual books over comics. I kind of switch back and forth. Tom, did you know a few people get in a chat and talk an hour or more before the live videos? I do know that. Have you ever read any of our chats? I have read your chats. Not always, though, because I'm usually busy doing things. Elvis, Beatles, or Johnny Cash? This one's really easy for me, and that's the Beatles. Don't get me wrong, I do not discount the influence of Johnny Cash and Elvis, and there's a few songs that both of them have done that I like, but I'm not huge on country, and I'm not real huge on Elvis songs for the most part either. They're okay. That style, but the Beatles, I just really like their music. Not all of it, but I like a lot of their music. I missed the component drop in your reviews. Sure, and I get that people do miss that sort of thing, but I don't miss it that much. It was a lot of work for us to do it, and I'm able to get more video series done because we're not doing it. That used to take up a good chunk of my Mondays. Now I can do reviews on Mondays. I mean, I'm sure you'd be glad to know we're going to be reviewing this very soon, right? So it's on the table here for me to do part of it. Do I think dudes on a map type game with a Dice Forge dice upgrade mechanic would make for a good game combo? Sounds fun to me. Have you tried the demo for Project Triangle Strategy on Switch? No, I don't know anything about it. But if it's a demo, I'll just wait till it comes out. So when it comes out, let me know and I'll get it. On the 5 more great games videos, are they in a specific order? Yeah, I'm just going through 5 at a time. So I've already done 101 through 110, and I'm just going to go all the way up to 350. Will I be reviewing Overboss, a Boss Monster Adventure this week? No. I usually say most of the stuff I'm going to review, all the big ones, in Board Game Breakfast. I talk about that each week. But also, when a game comes in, very rarely does it get flipped very fast. We have tons of games. I have, I think, 30 games over there that I've played and are ready to review, are on the shelf over there. So I'm going to do those. Sometimes a game gets moved up to the front for whatever reasons. But then I also have another 200 games that haven't even been played yet. Do participants of the past canceled 2020 Dice Tower retreat need to do anything about registering for the 2021 retreat? I don't know, actually, on that. Kenny will send out the information in regards to how the retreat transfers go. So he and I were just briefly talking about it beforehand, so he'll let you know. In your After the Empire reviews, you didn't use the army upgrades and you praised the cube upgrades. How are the army mini upgrades for this game? They look like they would fall off the walls a lot. You know, they do fall off the walls a few times, and I use them all the time. I just didn't show them in the review because you may not get them. But I love them. They're just little tiny plastic dudes. They're fine. They're not amazing quality, but little tiny plastic guys, I don't expect them to be amazing quality. They fall off the wall a little bit, but they mostly fit on the wall. I like having them. I use them all the time. Let's see here. Aside from the Kickstarter, how can I donate something to help the Dice Tower? Well, I appreciate that. There's various ways. The simplest way would just be PayPal us at dicetower@gmail.com. But I mean, I don't know. I guess that is. Oh, also you can do super chats here on YouTube if you want. Will we be able to upgrade our tickets for a better ticket like the VIP for Dice Tower East 2022 if we keep our tickets? That would be a specific question for Sharon. So she'll answer that, I'm sure, and I'll let you know if I hear from her on that one. I would assume you could possibly upgrade, but don't quote me on that because it is possible that we have sold all the Dice Tower VIP tickets, but I'm not sure on that one. If we have any available, you can. That's what I'm being told. I have quite a few emails, texts here. At the moment, they're all sold, yes, but you will be able to get them if any become free. I'm looking for an orange hat. Where do you get your Vivid hats? I'm looking for an orange hat myself. I have one, but the material is made of that same stuff that the hunter hats are made of, and I don't really like that. It's also a little too small for me, so I need a bigger one. How do you wash your hats? By hand. I don't dare run these felt ones through the machine. And if they're really dirty, sometimes my wife takes them to the dry cleaners. Which Robinson Crusoe scenario do you recommend to start with? I've lost 6 castaways in a row. That is a harder one. I think number 2 or 3 is scenario in the book, but definitely not number 1. Have I ever tried an RPG? Sure. I mostly have GM'd RPGs. I very rarely play them. Kind of the way I am about Werewolf and the way I am about One vs. All games. Maybe I have this innate need to control everything. I don't know. But I used to run Heroes Unlimited from Palladium, although it's a really terrible system, but it has great character creation. I ran some D&D for a bit, and I ran 3rd edition or 3.5, one of those two. I ran some Pathfinder for a bit. I played in an RPG in college. My friend had a Dragonlance RPG that had something to do with flipping over cards. But for the most part, I have not played a lot of RPGs. I just don't have a lot of time. Have you ever watched anime? My kids love anime. I constantly will pause. I'll be swinging through the downstairs and they're watching it, and I'll sit down and watch it, and then I make fun of it. Then they tell me to get out. Like I watched a lot of episodes of Naruto with them, and I couldn't get into it. I watched one episode of The Last Airbender, which I guess is not anime, apparently. But it wasn't a good one, I'm told, or whatever. It doesn't matter. I just didn't get into it. I watched more episodes of the sequel follow-up series to that. It was okay, but I still was lost in it because I was only watching a few episodes. That being said, last night, my kids were watching anime. I sat down and watched a couple episodes, and it was only like episodes 5 and 6 of this series. And then when it was done, I said, okay, you can't watch this one anymore unless I'm watching it with you, because I was intrigued enough. It's titled One Punch Man, and I've heard of it before, and I always laughed about it because I said, oh, if he's One Punch Man, then how can there be a series about that? But the attitude of the main character is so amusing to me because he's kind of just like, meh, which is very different than much anime stuff. He just doesn't seem to care, and yet he can punch through mountains or something, which I don't know how to explain it. I was highly amused by it, and so I'm going to keep watching with my kids. It was a pleasant change of pace compared to a lot of anime I've seen, which most of the animes I've shows that the kids watch take themselves so seriously, and I'm like, oh, all right already. But this one did not seem to take itself seriously at all, and I found myself a big kick out of it. I mean, there's still some of the little things in anime that I don't like when a character has extreme emotions. I just don't like that. I don't know why. Like when you're angry and they suddenly turn into a small thing and the screen shakes, but whatever. But I enjoyed the story. Top 5 welcoming games for people who are completely clueless about board gaming. We might do that at some point. I'm thinking it doesn't matter. I wouldn't even say that. That's the same thing as welcoming games. We'll do a top 10 welcoming games at some point. Favorite Marvel movie? Oh, Avengers Endgame. Not even close. Can I say WandaVision? That's not true. It still would be Marvel's Endgame. But I'm holding off on my WandaVision review until it's done. So not next Monday, but the Monday after that. What's your biggest turnoff in a Kickstarter campaign? Their previous Kickstarter campaigns. Alrighty. Do you buy frozen pizza? Occasionally. I like frozen pizza. To me, frozen pizza, the analogy for me for frozen pizza to pizza is the same as American Chinese food to Chinese food are. It's not the same thing. It's a completely different thing, and I can still enjoy it just in a different way. I'll eat frozen pizza. That's fine. It's not pizza. Like pizza, it's not like pizza. And I'm sorry, DiGiorno's pizza, or whatever it's called, still tastes like frozen pizza. I don't care what they say. I like frozen pizza. I don't eat it very much. I buy a lot of frozen pizzas, actually, but it's usually what the kids eat for lunch while I'm here at work or something. I'm guessing I have not seen many questions about Dice Tower East, so I'm guessing that there is not a lot of questions regarding that. Do you follow any Warhammer news? No. Any interest in the Warhammer Quest series? I do not know what we're talking about there. Are you talking about Warhammer Quest, the board game? What era of the Beatles? Early pop or later experimentation? I like them all, actually. But, I mean, there's certain songs I don't like. But I like some of the experimental stuff that they did. I don't know. Again, I kind of pick and choose which songs I like and don't like. Adventure Tactics is a heavy game. I'm assuming you mean the weight of it is heavy. Yeah, but sometimes games are heavy. Like, again, here with Sleeping Gods, in this box is the game and the expansion. So I managed to fit, and the Kickstarter stuff. I managed to fit it all in one box. But yeah, whew, that is a heavy box. Any form of media from your childhood you want as a board game? G.I. Joe. Do you see Beasts of Balance to be better than a lot of other app-enabled tabletop games? No, not particularly, but it works really well with the app. I'm excited about the current Kickstarter of it. Hi, Tom. I've been watching the Dice Tower for 9 years. This is the first year I backed us in Kickstarter. Well, thank you. That's very nice of you to say. Thank you so much for finally ditching the polka music in your reviews. Well, I'm not that's you can thank Roy. I like polka music. Any chance of a top 10 theme amusement park board games? I'm not sure there's enough yet of them. There's not a ton of them, that's for sure. But sure, a lot have come out in the last 2 years. Have you ever read Mortal Engines? I didn't realize it was a book. I guess I'll have to get around to reading it. Have you ever won a trophy? Yes, but like 2. One was for saying the most Bible verses, and that might be it. Oh, no. Okay, so there's two others. One is not my trophy, it's my wife's. But all right, excuse me. Apparently, I don't know where my mouth is. It's got water on the mic. Sorry about that. Roy comes in here and like starts yelling. That's why. What on earth? Is there a hole there? Okay. Well, anywho, one was a rook tournament in college, and my wife, who was dating me at the time, refused to be my partner because she said she wanted to win. Which is reasonable. I wasn't actually that upset about it at the time. But I took out, me and my partner who I got, we took out the best players in the tournament so that we then got beat by my wife and her partner. But we took out their hardest competition, so I've always claimed the trophy. And I'll tell you what, I have to talk about, we play games for fun, but everyone has a competitive edge. And I'll tell you, when I played that, and when we beat them, when we knocked out my wife's brother and his partner, who were so braggartish about how good they were at Rook, and I was sitting there saying, I don't think there's a lot to be. Seems like the best cards kind of tell you, you know. And they said that's not true. And then when we whooped them, I yelled so loud in excitement. I rubbed it in a bit, and I am not sorry about that still. 24 years later. What a good day. I'm going to see my brother-in-law soon. I think I'll remind him of that. Anyhow, and then I also have the Origins Chairman of the Board. I was just looking at that. From 2004. It's a long time ago. So the boardroom at Origins, this was back at a board gaming area, and they decided to give out a Chairman of the Board to whoever won the most games. So you'd fill out a little paper when you played a game, and then you put it in. So I did it. Now, the only reason I think I won this is because not a lot of people did it. And apparently me and another guy tied. And so we was like, all right, we'll play a game against each other. So we played Lost Cities. And then we said we don't have a lot of time, so we're going to play one round of Lost Cities. And I demolished him. Now, that's not that I'm better at Lost Cities. That's, you can have a demolishing round in Lost City. Sometimes it just happens. And then usually I'll be like, okay, but I'll catch up the next 2 rounds. But there was only one round. So I won, and I have the chairman of the board trophy now at my house. It's a gavel, go figure. I used it actually for Hammer of Judgment for a while. That's it. I have no other trophies. I have some certificates and different things that I've gotten. I got I guess I have a teacher of the year when I taught. I got that once, I think, but that just meant I was nice to the other teachers at my school. So there's that. Besides Dice Tower, what conventions are you most looking forward to going back to? I don't care. Anything. It could be called the Convention of Boring Games, and I would seriously consider going. I know you've done a paid preview of Wildlands: The Ancients already, but will you be doing a full review as well? I don't know what we're going to do with that one yet. I haven't played with the new faction as a new faction. I played the cooperative game. I might let someone else do it. I don't know. It's possible it will be in our queue, so I'm not sure who's going to do it. Have you ever played a sandbox type game on a computer? That's pretty much the only kind of games I like playing on the computer, actually. Are you playing the new Mario game on the Switch? I'm not, but my son is playing it. He had to be good 10 days in a row in school, which is much more difficult for him than you might think. And he got the first 3 done, and I was like, oh, no, the game doesn't come out till February 14th. But then he was bad several days, and then finally good. And the 10th day happened to be on the 14th. So very convenient timing. I had already downloaded the game, so he's really enjoying that. It's really funny. While he is not necessarily a good child at school, we homeschool, so it's pretty easy to ask the teacher. But he's also incredibly honest about it. I'll come home and he'll go, bad day today. That's very different than me. I would have told my parents I was good at school every day, no matter what. Could you do a random top 10 from the book again? Oh, yes. I can. We're talking about my top 10, available on Amazon, as someone asked me for the book. So look it up yourself if you want from now on. It's my top 10 from Piccadilly. So, well, that's depressing. People that died too young. I don't know that I want to do that one. I'll do the other one next to it. Top 10 funniest movies. Ooh. Ooh. All right. Well, this one's going to take me a bit to do. So let me... what is that? Comparing movies to each other. What's that called? Movie flicks, or what was that called? What's the thing where you can compare 2 movies to each other? I can never remember what that's called. Cinema flicks, movies, rank all your movies, comparing them. Flick chart, got it. All right. So Flick chart, I have an account there, so I was ranking all my movies. So I think I'll just go through that and pick my top. Of course, it's been a long time since I've done this. So comedies. I don't have a lot of comedies in my top movies. So I'm just going to go by here, and there might be one that come out since I've done this one. Also, some shows I don't consider to be a comedy, like, for example, The Truman Show says comedy, drama. I just consider that to be straight drama. All right, so number 1, I don't have a lot of comedies in my top 20 here. Also don't have a lot of Marvel movies in my top 20, so I need to... Okay, so don't get on my case here, but I'm going to count in my top 10. I'm not going to do them in any particular order, but both Bill and Ted movies, the first 2. I don't think the third one was as good. Bill and Ted, so that's 1. Galaxy Quest. That's probably number 1. So Galaxy Quest. Elf. Elf made me laugh a lot, so I'll say Elf. Let me see. Comedy movies. Comedy. Robin Hood Men in Tights. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So that's 5. Comedies. What About Bob? That's 6. Oh, Kung Fu Hustle for sure. 7. I really like Kung Fu Hustle. I almost would put Shaolin Soccer in there, but Kung Fu Hustle's better. So that's 7. And then let's see here. I'm going to put a cartoon in here because that's a comedy. I'll put Kung Fu Panda because I really like Kung Fu Panda. So that'd be 8. Oh, man. I have so many movies on here that are not comedies. My favorite movies tend to not be comedies. Men in Black. That's straight up a comedy. It's an action comedy, but I don't care. That's 9. I need one more. What would it be? What would be a good comedy? Oh, Groundhog Day. Yeah, for sure. Although, is Groundhog Day really a comedy? Who knows? Let's jump back to questions. Did you see the Mortal Kombat trailer? I did indeed. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see for the movie to come out. Let me see here. Do you have fond memories of Pennsylvania? Yes. Or are you happy to be away from the cold and snow? That's not an or, that's yes. I'm happy to be away from Pennsylvania from the cold and snow, but that's because I don't like the cold and snow. I do like Pennsylvania. And actually, I like the snow. I just don't like the cold. If snow came without cold, it'd be amazing. I love the food in Pennsylvania. I love the culture in Pennsylvania. I love the historical nature of Pennsylvania. I love the diversity all over the place of different things to do. Pennsylvania is not a boring state in the least of Pennsylvania. And also, I have some family in Pennsylvania. And I grew up there. So, yeah. Let's see here. The DoorDash driver who carelessly demolished that poor Super Yum game looked familiar. He had Dice Tower stickers in the back window. Any chance you know where he got them? Well, maybe back to Kickstarter. That's always a possibility. Who are they will have or would like to have for your reviews of lists this year? You're just going to have to wait and see. It's going to be different people. As much as I can make it, I try to pick people who I think are different, people who are interesting, and people who are willing, which isn't always, they always all match up, right? I might have some people who were on last year for sure, but I like to try to get as diverse of a thing. If we really clicked with somebody, we may have them back on. But there's no, I will say that there's no sort of campaign that will work for me. Like if you're like, we really want this person back, and we're going to please, that might work on me or not. But I'm just going to go around and pick those people. But if I don't have someone back, that's not a negative thing against them either, because there's so many people. I don't think we repeated at all last year, and I haven't repeated it all this year. So eventually we will do repeats. But don't hold it against the people we didn't do a repeat with. I can't wait till we get back to the point where we can fly them into the studio and do stuff with them here. If you added up every point that you have ever scored in every game you've ever played, what do you think that number would be? Ooh, I like this question. So if you score about I just realized my computer's not plugged in. I mean, it's plugged in, but the plugged in part is not plugged in to this. More power, yes. I don't know. So you figure I play thousands of games, but the scores are anywhere from up 2-3 points to hundreds of points. So an average of 50 points a game, that might be high actually. You think it's broken 1 million? Probably, right? That'd be 1,000 points for 1,000 games. I played 1,000 games, right? I played 7,150 at this point. And if I played each game 10 times, that would be 70,000. I haven't played each game 10 times. 70,000 games I played. 70 times 100 would be 7 million. All right, we'll just say 1 million. I don't know. When you went to Iceland, were you able to see any things outside the convention? Yes. If so, what was your favorite sight? The waterfalls. Although the ice, I don't know. The ice was really cool too. The glacier. So was Thingvellir, the divide, the continental divide. Man, everything in Iceland is amazing. It's like the most beautiful country I've ever been to for purposes of natural wonders. No knock against other countries, but Iceland was crazy amazing on how pretty it was. Ice skating or skiing, I've never skied, and I really liked ice skate, even though it's been a long time since I've done it. Is there a wait list you can sign up for the Dice Tower East site for VIP? Well, we'll ask Sharon. But again, I think the easiest way to do that would be to just email Sharon at dicetower.com and she can get you on such a list. Do you have trouble finding a work-life balance? No, but not, I don't say that to be bragging or anything, because sometimes I do have a bad balance. But I'm very fortunate. My work actually includes my kids in some ways. Like I'll play games with the kids, not all the kids, but the ones who don't want to play games, I go out of my way to do other things with them. And yeah, we have a good time together as a family, and especially now, COVID has brought us closer together than ever because we're stuck together all the time. So that's been good, and I spend a lot of time with the family. Let's see here. Oh, a super chat from Ray. How much of this super chat do you get? Is this an effective way to support the channel? I want to say we get like 90% of it comes to us, so it's effective. It's not bad. YouTube takes a percentage. I'm not sure how much they take of super chats. When you ask someone how much money they get from YouTube, they'll say, we can't really tell you, and also we don't really understand it, and that's both of those are really true. YouTube, for some reason, they have like these rules. You're not allowed to tell people what you get from YouTube. I don't know why. But definitely, I haven't a clue why videos make the amount of money they do. When I get the thing, it will tell you how much money each video made. So many of our videos make a penny. So many of them make less than a penny. It's amazing. You would be... No, you probably wouldn't be surprised. Videos make very little money on YouTube unless sometimes it's a viral hit, and even then you get some money. Not a lot. Maybe for the millions of view things. But the super chat money comes in, but it also comes in, here's your super chat money. And I'm like, okay, cool. But I would have to go sit and like calculate it all out, go back and count through the super chats, and I don't even know if that would require me to write them down as they happened. From your videos, you seem to have a really good relationship with the folks who work for you. Do you have any tips on managing people at work? So first of all, yes, to the first part I do. And I don't know how to emphasize this enough, folks. I have definitely done videos and been with people who I don't know very well, but I can get along with them in video. And you'll notice this when we have people come in and they do play through with us. When we used to do Kickstarters, that they would fly in here and do the Kickstarter with us. And that's cool. And so we would do that, and it's interesting. And we get along with them fine, but we don't know them that well. I do know the people here at Dice Tower well, and we get along really well. We have arguments about dumb stuff. We just had an argument about Olive Garden breadsticks versus Red Lobster rolls. So why don't you all tell me which one of those is better, and we'll see if you agree with me or not. So the Red Lobster rolls, dinner rolls, or the Olive Garden breadsticks. But anyway, man, when you see us on camera, that is like a hair difference in the way we are in real life, hanging out with each other. That's fantastic. Do I have any tips for managing people at work? I don't, other than hire the right people. That's what I found it to be. It really is. Because you can have someone who doesn't get along with people, but I don't know how, I'm not very good at handling that. I'm good at, here we get along great. And I'll tell you what, that's like my number one thing I'm looking for now when I'm hiring somebody, if I hire anyone ever again. Of course, I've said that like 3 or 4 times in the past. But I want to find someone who gets along with other people because it matters that much to us. Have you ever been to a small hats shop? I have been, but it's been a long time. Here's some series for me to watch. We'll see. Again, I'm not really attracted to it. I just happened to be walking through the house to get something. I saw the kids watching it, and I want to know what they were watching. And so I always sit down and watch, like I said, to make fun of some stuff. And then I ended up staying there and staying there and staying there, and then telling them they couldn't watch anymore unless they watched it with me. So that was, it was fun. Favorite French type of fries? Poutine, of course. Have you dared to order DoorDash since you reviewed their game? I have not, actually. I don't DoorDash that often. But how would they know? They would have to like do that. But I also don't know that they would be upset about it. I brought a lot of views to their game. And also, they should make a better game. But I hope they don't, because I already told, what's their main competitor? Grubhub. I already told Grubhub I wasn't ordering from them ever again. So I'm down to DoorDash and Uber Eats. And Uber Eats is fine, but DoorDash just works better for me. But no, Grubhub, I tried to use them one time, and they wouldn't use my credit card. I was like, fine. I don't know why. I'll use this other credit card. That didn't work either. I called them, and they said, oh, yeah, your account's locked. And I said, why? And they're like, we don't know why. I'm like, well, can you unlock it then? They're like, yeah, there's a problem with your credit cards or something. I'm like, yeah, but they work for everything else. And they said, yeah, well, we can get it unlocked. I said, okay, great. When? And they said, well, we don't know. So they put a manager on the phone. The manager said, yeah, we'll unlock it in probably a week or so. I said, well, no problem. I'll just wait till a week to order lunch for today. And then I just went and ordered through DoorDash. Like, maybe it was just a fluke or something, right? But when you have options, that's how it works. Would I like Cowboy Bebop? Yeah, it's okay. I love the music for Cowboy Bebop. I had a friend when I lived in Korea who loves Cowboy Bebop. Was always, he really, his enthusiasm helped me a little bit, but it was okay. Just like yourself, I consider myself as a Stratego expert. I want to be clear. I considered myself a Stratego expert when I was a child. Now I consider myself just someone who knows games a little bit. Most people would play the same way against me, I'm sure. My favorite version of Stratego is Star Wars. How's the cooking for the family going? The kids were talking about that yesterday because I was talking to them about how margarine and butter are 2 different things, and we were having a mini dad rant. And I said, I always use butter when I cook. And they said, when's that? And I was like, oh, that's right. I need to cook. So I will be doing that shortly. I haven't done it for a few weeks. Let's see here. I've been enjoying Dice Tower now. Any chance of bringing those guys on for a video? Well, that's not a bad idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. Yeah, probably eventually. What's your favorite non-traditional pizza topping? Chicken and banana peppers. Those are my two favorite toppings for pizza. Oh, shrimp. Shrimp, chicken, and banana peppers. So my wife and I, we take out one of our daughters each, one of our children, not daughters because I have a son too. We take out one of our kids each week. Each week we take out one kid out to eat. Well, not every week, but we try to. And that's their special day. They go out with mom and dad. I think it's important in a big family that you don't get lost in the crowd. So we took out one of our daughters yesterday. We went to a place called Mod Pizza, which is very similar to Subway, but it's for pizza. You go there and you're like, I want this, 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 and this, and this. And they put it on the pizza for you. And that's fantastic. So I love the fact that they have so many different things. So I got, let's see what I got yesterday. I got all the cheeses, because I like cheese. And then I got chicken and ham. I think chicken and ham go well together. Cordon bleu. Chicken and ham. And then I got pineapples, because I like pineapples on pizza, even though I know it's a hipster to not like them. That's pineapples. Not liking pineapples on pizza, I equate to people who say they're afraid of clowns. It's like the hipster thing to do. You may not like them, which is fine. There's lots of things people don't like. I just think people don't like those and think that they're cool and then act like it's horrific. Like if you don't like pineapples on pizza, I get it. You know, but then people are like, that's abomination. That's a very different thing. I don't really, I think anchovies on pizza is, it's okay, right? I don't really care for it that much. But I wouldn't say it's an abomination. Abomination would be like dirt on a pizza. But anyway, what else did I put on the pizza? I put on some tomatoes, of course. And not much more. Oh, a lot of garlic. I always ask for extra garlic. And then honey glaze on top. Honey on pizza is great. Hot, spicy honey is amazing. You put on top of a pizza. If you never had it, you got to try it. Best thick crust pizza? Now, I actually like my pizzas to be thin. In such a large family, what kind of vehicle do you drive? I drive a black car, and my wife drives a gray Acadia. You might say, Tom, what kind of car is your black car? I don't know. It's a car. Maybe it's a Toyota? I don't know. And I know that seems weird. I just don't keep track of that. We used to have a 12-passenger van, but now we're down to 8 people in our family. So the Acadia holds all 8, which is fantastic. Actually, it holds 9. No, it holds 8, but there's only 7 of us now because I got 2 kids at college. 7 is not a large family. 7, small. When is the opening day of the new super awesome Marvel racetrack? I don't know. We're hoping to do a super awesome new Marvel racetrack opening during the Spring Spectacular, but we'll see. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but we'll see. We do got something cool coming for the Spring Spectacular, like amazingly cool, but I cannot tell you what it is, but it's really good. We're going to be showing off a game that you have not seen yet that I'm really excited to show off. I can't say more than that. Can you tell us more about the retreat you were thinking of doing in October, November? I don't. And it would probably be November rather than October. But if we did it, it would just be us getting together for 4 or 5 straight days playing board games. I mean, you could go visit Miami things or Orlando things, depending on where it was. And it would be you and 200 or less people together playing in a library of 2,000 games. It's not as big and grandiose as conventions, but bang for buck, person for gamers, it's the best combo there is. And if you like just playing games with people who also just like playing games, because casual gamers don't really come to these things. People come to these who really like to play games. It's fantastic. And if you're like, I specifically want to play a game with people, and because it's also so easy to jump in games because everyone there wants to play games, right, all the time. So at worst, you just look around as soon as there's a spot open, you get in the game. Yeah, so if you are a gamer, the retreat is the best way to go. We have fun playing it. I play more games there than anywhere else, really, because that's what we're doing. So, also, if you want to play a game with me, your chances there are higher than anywhere else. It still might not happen, but your chances are definitely higher. If you want to talk to me, your chances are 100% unless you just refuse to do so. Anyway, if you're interested in coming to such a thing, email me at tom@dicetower.com. You used to release your videos at 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. Now they're at different times. Why the change? Because what I wanted to do is what YouTube does, it will usually just shows you the last video that's out. So people, especially during COVID time, people are kind of watching videos throughout the day. I like to spread them out. Rather than have a whole bunch released at the same time, I spread them out so that if you turn it on, you're like, oh, this is the latest video to come out. I'll give it a watch. Also, they don't interfere with our live plays and such. I try to schedule everything at different times now. It's just something new I tried out. It seems to have worked okay. Tom's wife won Best Taste in Husband's Trophy? Oh no, that's the other way around for sure. My wife has obviously no taste when it comes to men. But, well, I shouldn't say no taste. Bad taste. But at least I'm glad she is that way. How much can you bench? I wouldn't have a clue. I don't weightlift. Any weightlifting I've ever done has just been like with curls and things like that. I wouldn't know how much to bench. I don't think I've ever done it even once. Why do some live play videos disappear from the channel? I remember you played Cubitos recently, but couldn't find it yesterday. I don't think... We've deleted some videos before for various reasons, usually technical, but not many. It might have been part of a bigger event. Did we play Cubitos live? I don't remember playing it live. Maybe we did. I guess we must have, but I don't remember it. Maybe we did, but it was probably part of like a winter spectacular event or something like that. Have you ever experienced being the only male gamer at a table outside of your family? Sure, but only at big conventions. I've definitely sat down. I remember specifically I taught, this was like 2 years ago at PAX Unplugged, I sat down and taught a bunch of ladies, was it Orleans? I think it was Orleans, or something like that. I just saw the people and they were trying to figure out how to play a game, and I said, oh, I know how to play that game. I don't remember what it was, and so I sat down and taught them. But it doesn't happen often, right? Yeah, there are a lot of mixed groups. Yeah, I don't know how often it's happened. I mean, it's definitely happened in like groups of 3 or less at conventions, but it's only at conventions usually. All right, I've just apparently got to spamming. Let's see here. All right, jumping down here. Do you prefer social aspect of board gaming, the fun of the games, or clever mechanisms of the games? The social, by far. It's my favorite. Don't get me wrong, I love learning how to do games, but it's the social aspect which keeps bringing me back and backs. Why are sandbox the only ones you like in computers? Well, not the only one. I like lots of games on computers because I like variety. And in a sandbox game, I like the freedom to do whatever I want. I'm like, I've never gone over there and done that. I'll go do it. Oh, I can do this. I'll do that. Open world games I consider to be sandbox games. Like, for example, Skyrim. I can be an evil character in Skyrim. I can be a good character. I can do all whatever I want. I consider it to be sandbox, but also there's also the building games like Terraria or Terraria or however you pronounce it, and things like that. Roller Coaster Tycoon. I get to just build stuff. I just like that. It's fun to just build it and do whatever I want. So open world games are fun for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll play through games, but I even like if there's an adventure game, like I like Zelda and stuff, I like that I can do the missions, but I can also just go do what I want. What do you guys do with the games you review but you don't really like or want to play again? Well, once I'm done reviewing a game, we then determine, does it go in a Dice Tower library? At the moment, that is a straight Tom Vasel decides thing, but I do talk to everyone. If I'm not sure, I'm like, what do you guys think? But if we're not sure about a game, it doesn't go in the library because probably not a lot of people are going to play it. So why put it in the library? That's always been my thinking along that regard. Sorry, I got a case of the yawns there. Anyhow, but if I like it, then it's going to the library. And so then if it doesn't go in the library, then does somebody else want it in the group? And then if not, then what are we going to do with it? Maybe we have an extra copy and we'll send it out to Dice Tower West for their library. That's if it's a good game, obviously, same reasonings. But then we set them aside, and we usually get rid of them at Dice Tower East. That's not happening 2 years in a row, so I don't know what we're going to do. We might sell some at the retreats, actually. I know. Before you say it, this always happens when I mention this. People are like, send them to me. No. There's a couple reasons for that. One, that's a lot of work. And two, see answer number one. It's just a straight ton of work. Even if people buy the games, it's not worth their time usually because the shipping costs are a lot. We have to bundle them up, ship them out and everything, and that's a lot of time. It's just easier for us to get rid of them all in one swift motion. Let's see here. Oh, it's funny, a top 10 list book, there's top 10 people who died too early versus top 10 funny movies. Yeah, but I think that they just kind of mix things up. Like the next 10 is my top 10 holiday traditions. Next to my top 10 greatest classical composers. Then, this one's like my top 10 board games. Next to top 10 qualities I look for in a boyfriend or girlfriend. Top 10 fondest summer memories. Top 10 directors. Top 10 sexiest women in the world. Next to top 10 jelly bean flavors. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to be doing all these for sure. Top 10 worst states I've been in my life? I wouldn't even be able to do that one. Alrighty. Let's see here. Oh, yes, Princess Bride. Princess Bride's a comedy. Sorry. Okay, so Princess Bride and Clue. You're right. Both of those break into the top 10, so I'm going to have to knock out a couple others. Sorry. No, not Blazing Saddles. That's okay, but nope. Monty Python, nope. Airplane, nope. Not my top 10. The Blues Brothers, nah. Liar, Liar, I like a lot. I watched it recently with my kids, and it hasn't aged as well as I thought it would have. Almost Heroes, that is a fun, but that one's also one I haven't seen in a long time. Caddyshack is, I don't know, I don't like that as much as most other people. Dumb and Dumber, no. Multiplicity, it's been a while since I watched that one. Shrek should count. Yeah, Shrek is good. Wow, people are like really giving me a bunch of Ghostbusters. Yeah, I guess Ghostbusters is comedy. Will there be a Solomon Kane review incoming? Maybe, but we have not gotten the game yet. So if we get it, then maybe that will happen. What's the weirdest dream you've ever experienced? Oh, there's So many weird ones. I'm just always confused when I wake up from my dreams because then they mix timelines. And I've always thought that to be interesting. What I mean is I'll dream about being married with kids in college, or I'm in high school, but also I know I have kids, but I'm looking for a date. Or they like everything kind of meshes together timeline wise sometimes. It's really weird to me. Except it's not weird in the dream. Let's see here. Are you retired? No. I was telling this to my wife this morning. It's just interesting every time I talk to people, and if someone asks what I do, they're like, "Do you play games all day?" And I'm like, "Oh man, I wish." There's a lot of work that goes in. Mondays are the busiest day for me at the Dice Tower. I don't know why. Do you have Culver's near you? I don't. I have had it. I like Culver's fine. The cheese curds are good, although I found that cheese curds are kind of growing. I like cheese curds, but they're usually too fried, if that makes sense. I would rather just have the curds. Let's see here. Do you guys ever wear makeup like actors do for camera? I have worn makeup a couple times, but usually some anti-glare stuff, but here in the studio, not very often. What are my thoughts on Bitcoin? I don't know enough about it to have any thoughts on it. So I can't say any. I've gone and read a little bit about it, and I still don't understand it. Although I will say that that's somebody who gave me 10 Bitcoin way back in the day or whatever it was. I wish I had kept it. I don't know where it is. I never even think I received it or whatever. I couldn't find it. If you play 7,150 games with an average of 5 times with an average score of 28, that's 1 million. That seems legit, right? I don't know. But so what's your score in Monopoly, though? If you win Monopoly and you have $2,500, is your score 2,500? It's a little confusing. Let's see here. I'm kind of zooming through questions at this point in time. I guess we're feeling good about Dice Tower East. Almost no questions about it, so that's good. No one seems to be awfully surprised about it, which is good and sad. But let me tell you this. Dice Tower East 2022, I will bend over backwards and upside down and every which way. And I know Sharon is in agreement. We're going to make that an amazing con because we've missed 2 years now. So it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be terrific. So good things come to those who wait. And Dice Tower Cruise and Dice Tower West also happening in 2021. I've already been talking, a little bit about those. They're still a while away. Everything's a while away. But, it's exciting and they'll be good. Alrighty, let me see. Oh, here we go. Red Lobster, Red Lobster, Red Lobster. Tom, you need to eat at better restaurants. What you need to be is less snobby. Sure, there are better seafood restaurants than Red Lobster. Sure, there are better Italian restaurants than Olive Garden. But sometimes you have an Olive Garden gift card, and sometimes you don't have a lot of money, and sometimes you can only go 5 minutes to the nearest restaurant or what have you. And it really, really bugs me when people trash on these restaurants like the people who eat there are scum. Yes, we know there's better restaurants, but the question was, which one's better? Sorry, I'm getting off topic. Red Lobster, Red Lobster, Red Lobster, Red Lobster, Red Lobster, Red Lobster. All right, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's clear Red Lobster. So I would like you all, next time Mike is live, to spam with this sort of information, because Mike crazily thinks the Olive Garden breadsticks are close, and he says the Red Lobster biscuits are terrible, which we have pointed out to him is not true. So, all right. I hear your favorite villain is Cruella. Well, one of my favorite villains. What are your thoughts about the new Emma Stone movie? I don't know. They definitely made Cruella look like Harley Quinn in that trailer, didn't they? We'll have to wait and see. Alrighty, well, it looks like I caught up on questions here. There's a lot of different people here. Nathan says, I go to retreat with a list of 600 games I want to try. Yeah, and definitely people came into the retreat last time with those lists of games they wanted to try. And if you want to do that, those games are there. I brag a lot about the Dice Tower library. I try not to brag about myself. I try not to brag about the Dice Tower. I hope we do a good job, and I hope you like us. But I will stand behind that library. That library, every time I go and mess with it, I just get happier. It is that good. All right, folks. Well, that's it for another Q&A. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for Sharon for being here without us not needing her, really. So, but of course, if you have specific questions about Dice Tower East, email Sharon at sharon@dicetower.com. And like I said, if you're interested in coming to a November retreat, email me at tom@dicetower.com. I'm not saying we're going to do one. We're just considering it. That's all. Okay, so this is the last live thing today. Tomorrow, live stuff. In the morning, I'll be playing a live app, so come back for that. I will be doing 5 more great games, and we'll be doing Shoots and Marbles racing. So all that stuff, lots of fun. I hope you enjoy it. But until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Q&A on the Dice Tower. I'll see y'all later.